Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today, I'm honored to introduce Craig Hatmaker, who is joining us from United States to share his groundbreaking work in transforming how Excel is used in today's business world. If I talk about Craig, then he's also contributing as a Microsoft MVP who is now at the forefront of movement called 5G modeling, which is new approach that is reinventing the Excel from basic spreadsheet into a powerful tool, which is a scalable and intelligent modeling platform for a business professional. So today in this episode, we are going to explore the 5G we will explore what is 5G modeling, why Excel is still future ready tool, but before that, I would like to thank Craig for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Well, I'm retired. It's probably the first thing to say to people is that I'm doing this because I just really like it. It's sort of a hobby with me. To me, working with Excel is like playing a game. It's a puzzle. And how can I solve it? And right now, I'm trying to solve the puzzle of how can we eradicate errors out of financial modeling. And for that, I created 5gmodeling.com and I've started the 5G initiative.
Okay. All right. So let's start from your role as a MVP and also some of your expertise. Because like you have gone from being a Microsoft MVP to literally reinventing how Excel models are built. But I just want to start with a very basic question, like what was the biggest problem with how people are using the Excel today, and why does it need to be fixed right now? Like why you think that there's a need of adoption of modernization tools like 5G modeling and other stuffs like that?
Okay, so that's an important question. I mean, the
Mhm.
beauty and the curse of Excel is anyone can do just about anything with it. It's like clay. Put clay in the hands of a child and you end up with a shapeless mass named Fluffy. Put clay in the hands of a craftsman and you end up with something beautiful and useful.
Yes.
Excel in the hands of the untrained can be catastrophic. Usebrig.org maintains a library of horror stories of people misusing Excel and costing millions. We have well-established industry best practices, but few Excel users know them, and even fewer follow them.
Hmm.
In IT, when faced with users who might do idiotic things, we make our systems idiot-proof. It'd be great if we hired smarter people to work with systems, but smarter people cost more. And so it falls to IT to prevent cheap labor from making mistakes. So, how do we prevent users from making mistakes on a system that allows anyone to do anything? Well, we can't prevent them, but
Hmm.
we can entice them. We can give them solutions to their problems that are easier to use than writing their own formulas. It is my experience that people gravitate to easy whenever possible, and that is where 5G methodology steps in.
Okay. Okay. And now, like, we will talk about the 5G modeling, but in a bit different way. For those, because this term is sounds very futuristic, right? But suppose there are group of people who are not so aware of the modernized thing, and they are using the Excel just for creating some tables and for doing their office work. So, in order to explain them the benefits of 5G modeling, how you will introduce this concept to someone who is completely new to the technology and they are just using it for creating the tables. So, like, what, how you will explain this 5G modeling to them?
Glad you asked that. Uh, so, so if you're a business, you should care because 5G modeling dramatically reduces errors that could inflict catastrophic losses. And in some
Mhm.
cases, 5G can eradicate potential errors completely.
Okay.
5G may sound futuristic to Excel users, but the
Mhm.
concepts behind 5G are decades old and the foundation for Windows operating system. Those concepts are named component-based software engineering, or CBSE.
Mhm.
Research into CBSE shows it reduces errors and improves productivity by up to 50%.
Okay.
But it wasn't until the introduction of Lambda that CBSE in Excel was possible. Lambda is an unfortunate name for Excel because it is an IT term. Excel users do not think of themselves as programmers, but in fact, writing an Excel formula is an exercise in functional programming. Financial modelers are functional programmers whether they believe it or like it. Excel
Yeah.
has always been a functional programming platform.
Mm-hmm.
But until Lambda, Excel lacked one important feature, the ability to create our own Excel functions from Excel functions. The 5G methodology provides guidelines for crafting error-free, reusable Excel functions that anyone of any skill level can use in any workbook. The guidelines cover naming, structure, simplicity, documentation, version control, testing, and distribution. 5gmodeling.com provides tutorials, tools, templates, and examples, all free of charge.
Right.
With 5G, we can do things never before possible with Excel's functions. An
Hmm.
extreme example is the 5G function depreciate. Every company has assets, and with this one function, a business can place in one cell, and it will provide a complete depreciation schedule covering the model's entire timeline for all of the company's assets. And each asset can have its own acquisition date, useful life, depreciation method, salvage value, and disposal cost.
Okay.
One function in one cell spills to thousands of cells, cutting cell error risk by more than 1,000 to 1. Do
Mm-hmm.
you mind if I share an example?
Yeah, please share that.
Okay, so I will share my screen.
Sure.
I need to have sharing turned on, please.
Yes, I just had a order.
And I assume you're now looking at my screen.
Yes, we can see.
And here's a depreciate demo. So the depreciate function
Mm-hmm.
is right here. Let's delete it. Watch what happens when I delete it. Everything goes away. So how would a user use this? Well, they would start off by typing equals depreciate. And I need to move something out of the way because I'm impacting my keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Depreciate, and you can see Excel brings up a list of depreciate functions. This is the one I want to use,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and it's asking for initial values. So a user needs to know the initial values. There they are.
Right.
And it asks now for in-service date. So comma, and select those. It now wants to know life in years. So there they are. Next thing is the timeline. Here's our model's timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dynamic array, so I add the hashtag after it. It then
Okay.
needs to know salvage values. It then asks for disposal dates. We don't have any, but they'll be assumed to be the end of life of the asset. It asks for disposal costs, and it asks for our method of depreciation. There are several methods of depreciation: straight line, double declining balance, declining balance. So Excel has several different methods.
Mm-hmm.
I include all of the time-based ones. So after you've entered all the information it needs, you hit enter and boom, there you go, all of those cells. Now, it's even more magical because I'm using tables. If I take these rows, so right now
Mm-hmm.
I have three assets. If I take this set of rows, if I can use my mouse properly
Mm-hmm.
and link them up to the table, I now have five assets. And I
Yes.
haven't had to change a single formula. So I'll stop sharing.
Yeah.
So there is nothing that I know of that can remotely come close to reducing model risk as much as 5G dynamic arrays can.
Right. Yeah, and I think these kind of learning material are also available on over the internet. Let's say if someone wants to adopt this kind of modeling into their business, so they can simply refer. Like, is there any particular content that they can follow? Like any particular blog or maybe manuals they can refer, or what would you suggest for them?
So 5gmodeling.com,
Mm-hmm.
spelled with either one or two L's. I
Okay.
recommend two L's. But if they go to 5gmodeling.com, they will see examples such as the one you just saw. They will see libraries that they can download for free. They will see tutorials that they can use, and they can see the 5G modeling standard. So it's all there free of charge.
Okay. All right. So I think somehow the people got the idea behind this 5G modeling. But again, here we will compare it with something that is currently very hot topic, AI, right? Because humans are also afraid of this AI technology because some people believe that it is going to take the jobs. So my question is like, is it really a competitive thing for Excel also? Because we all know that doesn't matter in which domain you are working, Excel is one common thing between across the domain, right? Everyone is using Excel for their day-to-day tasks. So from your perspective, like how it is not even now, like even after from 5 to 10 years from later from now, so how the 5G will be impacted with this AI? Is there anything that you draw in between this time?
Well, that's a very timely question, Amit. Excel keeps improving, and Excel with AI is a powerful combination.
Yes.
Recently, I was requested, just a couple days ago, I was requested to create a debt schedule that would calculate even monthly payments for commercial loans.
Mm-hmm.
Excel's PMT function works great for consumer loans, where the interest portion is the same for every month. But commercial loans charge interest based on days in the month. And so the interest charge changes from month to month, and PMT simply will not work. So, as an experiment, I asked Gemini, Google's AI,
Mm-hmm.
to create the Lambda. And to my amazement, it did. It was not perfect, but in fact, that a few months ago, Gemini did not understand Excel Lambda at all indicates that AI is progressing at an astonishing rate to where it can
Okay.
write formulas for us. In the not too distant future, it will be able to write entire models. Does
Mm-hmm.
that mean AI will replace Excel or financial modelers? No. Financial modelers who use AI will replace financial modelers who don't.
Okay, all right. So I think this myth is clear to all of those who still believe that it is going to impact so many things. Yes, it will impact, but in a better way, not in order to bring you to get something, grab something from your hand. So it is not a thing to be get afraid of. All right. Okay. So now, Craig, like we will talk, we talked bit about your expertise, and later on also we are going to talk about some of your great initiative. But prior to that, I just want to talk about some mistakes because nowadays everyone is sharing their success stories across the LinkedIn. But somehow we all know that everyone is doing the mistakes also, and that should become in front of all other person like who are also dealing with those kind of challenges. So for you, what's the biggest mistake you made with Excel or maybe with a modeling in journal that taught you a lesson you which you would like to preach to others?
Well, I can say that fortunately for me, uh, big mistakes end careers, Amit.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not advance to C-level executive had I made any big mistakes.
Okay.
But I have made many, many mistakes with Excel, which is a reason why I'm so passionate about eliminating errors. Luckily, testing and review caught my mistakes before they made it into client hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I have learned from my mistakes, but I also am extremely nervous when I start writing a model that I might make a mistake. So I rely on exhaustive testing and other people's review to make sure that anything that I might have overlooked gets caught before
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a catastrophic mistake.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we will talk about I found something interesting in one of your posts that you are looking for a partners for standards and certification and training. So why not just go solo and scale this vision of yours regarding the Excel, and why you think like collaboration is such a big deal in this kind of mission? So what is your opinion behind the team building or teamwork, I would say?
So you probably have heard the saying that if you want to go fast, go solo, but if you want
Right.
to go far, go with others.
Go with others.
So I did start solo, but I did receive advice and exchange ideas from other Lambda pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately for me, Phenomatic, who was my first company to partner with me, thanks to them, at least one of the world's largest accounting firms and several investment firms use 5G models. Their clients silenced the skeptics who claimed no one would ever accept 5G. So without their collaboration and help, 5G would not have gone as far as it has already.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. And if we particularly look at the mentality behind choosing those person like with whom you would like to work, so what do you think? Like, what kind of people or companies do you want to join in this movement with you? And like, who's your who's your dream collaborator in the world of Excels or maybe beyond Excel also? So, what key qualities you look into a person or into an organization while making a deal with them to bring them on the project?
So right now, my dream partner would be somebody who is a financial modeling standards organization such as F1, F9, OPRIS, um, Mazars. So those standards, F1, F9 has created the FAST methodology. Um, I think Mazars started SMART, um, and who's now Chorality. There are several different types of financial modeling standards, and those things uh, need to happen for 5G to become mainstream. So I am really interested in finding someone who will develop the financial modeling standard that says that when you're using dynamic arrays in financial modeling,
Mm-hmm.
here are the appropriate things to do. So, um, so 5G modeling is a 5G creation methodology and not a financial modeling standard. So I really need someone from the other side of the fence, the financial modeling standards group, to join in. I think I've got someone lined up to help. He's actually been looking at, he's proposed a name already for his organization. So I'm very hopeful that that will come about soon.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the person like to whom you are going to hire, or I would say to whom you are going to collaborate for your mission. But now my question is, suppose if you got a chance or got an opportunity from any of the firm, and let's say if they called you tomorrow and said that Craig, we want to bake a 5G modeling directly into the Excel. So what's the first feature you would like to ask them to ship first from the 5G modeling? What one feature would you select?
Well, I'm going to give you two. So
Okay,
you're going to get two for this because there's
sure.
two things I want Microsoft to add to Excel. The first is I want the advanced formula environment, also known as AFE, included
Okay,
in Excel instead of as a free add-in. AFE makes reading Lambdas much easier, and it supports comments and importing Lambda libraries from the web. Because AFE is an add-in, some corporations do not allow its use, and that is a barrier to adoption.
okay.
Second, I want a Lambda marketplace similar to the add-in marketplace that's already in Excel. Finding Lambda libraries now requires a Google search, which obviously can bring up unrelated pages. I
Hmm.
want the marketplace in Excel so it is easier for users to find what they need and know that the libraries they import are professional grade.
Okay, all right. Got it. And now, like by looking at your so far journey, your expertise, your achievements, we are sure that you are making Excel powerful and accessible for the users. But my question again is from the perspective of those who don't know anything about coding skills, and they are not aware of so much, like they are not a typical techie guys, I would say. So in such situation, like, are you sure that this 5G functions like they can adopt easily, and how the things would be them for them like when they firstly interact with this 5G modeling function?
So 5G has two audiences. Well, we'll start off with the first. 5G
Okay.
functions are specifically designed for everyone.
Okay.
Anyone can use them. If they can use an Excel function, they can use a 5G function because
Got it.
5G functions mimic Excel functions. The second audience, function creators, well, they require a great deal of skill,
Hmm.
not just in creating formulas, but for making the documentation inline and inline help understandable to non-technical people.
Okay.
And they must also be proficient in developing test cases to make sure the functions never fail.
Hmm. Okay. So proper testing would be implemented so that let's say if someone is not so much aware of the technical things, then they can also relate it because it is somewhere related to the normal Excel formulas, so they can easily adopt it. Got it. Okay, so now we will talk about one more thing. So that is related to your again your related to your team. If someone joins your team, okay, as a new member, so what few key advice would you like to give them in order to make them comfortable with your team, or I would say the key mantras that your entire team is already following, and they should also take the benefit of those strategies. So is there any particular thing that you keep that you kept common in between your team?
I would say the first thing is to make sure that we're always focused that it's the end user that's important. We're not trying
Yes,
to make functions for ourselves. There's a huge difference between making a function for ourselves and making functions for others to use.
correct.
So when we make functions for ourselves, we can use cryptic naming because we know what it means, but for users, they don't. We
Right.
can skip testing because if it breaks, we can fix it. But you put it in, you can't give it to users and have it break. It's just a great way to lose your credibility. You have to be able to explain it to them in terms that they will understand. So you have to make functions differently for others than you would for yourself. And that
Hmm.
is probably the biggest hurdle to overcome for most people that use Excel because it's a personal application. It's on running on a personal computer. But we're asking people to do this as though a, it's more of a mainstream application. We're writing it for other people to use. It's got to be easy. It's got to be error free, and it's got to be useful. So those are if people can keep that kind of focus, then I think everything else falls into place.
Okay, yeah, I think this is one of the great strategy I would say that anyone can implement in their team also in order to get the proper results and to provide the services that is useful not only for a particular community but for the entire users, for the end users. That's a great thing. Okay, so now, Craig, we will talk about because we all know about your achievements, we all know about your initiatives, but we are not aware of those key people who have helped you in that journey. Because we all know that behind every expert like yourself, there is a support of network, maybe from family member, from colleagues, friends, or even a student sometime also. So for you, who were those key people who have helped you and had a major impact on your journey?
So I mentioned earlier that I received advice and ideas from other Lambda pioneers. Those people
Hmm.
include Peter Bartholomew. Some of you may know him. He's a genius. Eric Ohm, just really intelligent with AI robot. And Bo Ryden, another Lambda genius. Dearmid Early, who's the financial modeling World Cup champion. Owen Price, and several others. I've also received insights from some of the people who made Lambda in Excel possible. Simon Peyton Jones is one of those people. Clemens Zapersky helped me keep 5G solidly based in component based software engineering, which was important to make sure that we reap the benefits of CBSE.
Okay.
Giles Mail, a full stack modeler, and Ian Schnorr of the Financial Modeling Institute helped me get the word out about 5G.
Hmm.
And Andrew Berkeley of F1 F9 advises me on how best to work with the financial modeling community. I'm really
Okay.
grateful to all of these people for their help.
Okay. All right. Okay, so my next question is again related to the Excel only. So let's say for someone listening who's building the typical financial model, business report, or anything into Excel, so what's your advice to make their work faster, cleaner, and like in a way that they will be considered as a smart worker with the Excel tool? So what key advice would you like to share?
So, first of all, I'd like to talk to some of the people that were in the position that I used to be in,
Correct.
department heads. I would encourage every department head to learn the basics of financial modeling.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we consistently launch initiatives that need financial support from executive teams. And having financial modeling skills helps us articulate the value proposition that our initiatives and gain support. So for those in Excel that are not necessarily a department head, I would encourage them to stay curious about Excel and its new features. Maintain the posture of how can I leverage this to
Yep.
Sorry. How can I leverage this to my advantage and avoid the old guard who are always looking for ways to maintain the status quo?
Mm-hmm.
The Excel features that help me most are Excel's tables and Power Query. Power Query can save us data entry time and transcription errors by importing data from our ERPs directly into Excel without having to know VBA, ADO, SQL, and the like. I would also advise they learn to marry those tables with dynamic arrays when needed and use 5G functions to make working with dynamic arrays easier.
Right.
Lastly, start experimenting with Copilot and Gemini. At the moment, these two AIs seem to have the lead where Excel is concerned.
Hmm.
Soon, AI will be our go-to tool for creating models in Excel and discerning insights from the data our models use and create.
Okay. All right. So I think these are very precious advice, I would say, because those who are into this kind of domain, so for sure, like they will try to implement these things and these strategies, and it will benefit them for a longer go. So thanks for sharing this information. And in fact, like there are plenty of things that we can discuss here in this podcast, but we have limited time. So I would like to ask my last question, and this question is related to your hobbies because we have talked so many things about the technical thing, right? So I just wanted to know, like, apart from your technical things, like what you love to enjoy, what are the things that you do for enjoying your time?
I'm going to share my mess with you in just a minute. So this is one thing I enjoy doing.
Okay. Okay. It's a
Uh, I I love to write music and compose, and I share my music on SoundCloud. Not that I'm very good at it, but I have lots of fun with it. So it's my hobby. I have several other hobbies. I run, and I also am building a retaining wall. Nice
okay.
175 foot, 3 foot tall concrete block retaining wall, and I call it my gym because the blocks are heavy. Um, I like to play pickleball. So it just seems like I always have something that I'm always into to keep myself, especially in my retirement, keep myself busy and occupied, besides just playing around with Excel.
Okay. So I think we can say that you are dedicated to share your expertise from both keyboards, whether it's
Yeah, so
a
I have
computer
both
keyboard.
keyboards going.
Yeah. So this is the common thing. That's a great thing. Okay, so yep, all right. So thank you so much, Craig, for joining us in this episode and for explaining the 5G modeling in a very layman terminology. I'm sure those who are not even from the technical background, they can also relate the things and they can also take a benefit of this kind of modeling. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having Amit and for allowing me to share this with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you.